Hello students, on the last turn we have finished our chapter how do organisms reproduce, and as you know our periodics are going to be start from Monday. So today I am going to revise the chapter control and coordination, and in this I have to I have given human brain, its parts and their function. So I am going to start the those portion of chapter which is in which will be there in periodic. So I am starting that control and coordination chapter. Although most of the part of it is deleted, but the parts of human brain with their parts and their function are there in our syllabus. So I am revising that. Human brain, that is the part of human central nervous system. It is the highest coordinating center in the body. It is situated in the cranial cavity of the skull, in the head region of the body. It is covered on the outside by three membranes, to which we call meninges. These membranes provide protection to the parts of the this brain. The space between these three meninges is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Mean the fluid that is filled between the space where the brain is situated and where the membranes are, it is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid also protect the brain from mechanical shocks. Now the brain is divided into three parts. These are forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. So the parts of the brain, forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, we are revising. Forebrain, which is the main part of brain, it forms the greater part of the brain. Mean you are watching that it forms the greater part. Whole of the part is, this is forebrain, in between is midbrain and near the neck area it is hindbrain. So forebrain, it is divided into three subparts. These subparts are cerebrum, then thalamus and hypothalamus. Cerebrum, which is the most complex and largest part of the brain. Cerebrum you are watching here, it is the largest part. This is the largest part of brain, and it is divided into two parts called left and right cerebral hemisphere. When left part is having left cerebral hemisphere and right part is having right cerebral hemisphere. Each cerebral hemisphere is again divided into four lobes carrying out different functions. So each cerebral hemisphere has four parts. These are frontal lobes, parietal lobe. These are frontal lobe, parietal lobe, then parietal lobe. This area between this and this is parietal lobe. Then this is occipital lobe, and last is temporal lobe. This is there. So the cerebrum is divided into four parts. First part is frontal lobe. This is the frontal lobe. It is region for speech. Then it is written here, higher mental activities. This is region for higher mental activities, mean associated with reasoning, and muscular activities are also controlled by this lobe. Then second lobe, that is parietal lobe. This is parietal lobe. In between this is the region for touch, taste and smell, etc. That is sensory area. Beside that, it is related to temperature, pressure, conscious association or perception of general sensation, etc. Next part is occipital lobe. This is occipital lobe, as you are saying here, vision. It is related to the vision, or we call it visual area, and it is there for visual perception. Next and last part is temporal lobe, and it is related with the sounds and languages, and beside that formation of memories, etc. So, temporal lobe, which is here shown here, it is for interpreting sounds and languages we hear and formation of memories. So, this is temporal lobe is auditory lobe, you can say, or it is there for auditory reception. So, these are the parts of cerebrum. These are the parts situated in both left and right hemisphere. Each lobe also has some areas called association areas, which store information and experience. These association areas control thinking, memory, learning and emotions, etc. Then next part of forebrain, that is thalamus. Forebrain's other part, that is thalamus. It is located below the cerebral hemisphere, and thus visible only in the ventral view of the brain. When diagram of ventral view of brain is shown, then it is visible, only then it is visible. Its function is, it acts as a relay station for all sensory information going to the cerebrum. Beside that, it also acts as a center of smell. When we can feel the smell, or we can smell the substances, etc. So, this is the center, or thalamus is the center for that. Next part of forebrain, that is hypothalamus. It is a small region below thalamus. This is hypothalamus shown here, hypothalamus. This is small region below the thalamus. It also control and regulate heartbeat, then blood pressure, hunger, thirst, sleep, temperature and peristalsis, etc. It also acts as a connecting link between endocrine and nervous system, because it is connected to pituitary gland and pineal gland and controls their actions. So, this is the hypothalamus, and these are the parts, these were the parts of forebrain. Now, midbrain. As you are watching it in diagram, this is situated in between part of the brain. It is smaller region of the brain. You are watching, it is a smaller region. Then it is a thick walled structure and constitute a smaller portion of the brain. It connects the anterior region of the brain to the posterior region, and therefore all nerve fibers, fiber tracts pass through these regions. Midbrain is responsible for controlling reflexes of eye, like pupil size, then ear and head. So, this is center for sight reflexes, sight and auditory reflexes. Then third part of the brain, that is hindbrain, that has these parts. So, this is the cerebellum. Hindbrain contain three parts. These are the cerebellum, pons and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum, it is the largest part of hindbrain. You are watching it, it is the largest part of hindbrain. Then it is situated below the occipital lobe. You are watching it. This is situated below the occipital lobe. You can look here also, this is cerebellum. Below the occipital lobe it is situated. It maintains body balance and posture, and also control and coordinate voluntary muscular body movements. So, cerebellum is the part which maintains the body balance and posture. Next part of hindbrain, that is pons. This is here. This is pons. It is present in front of cerebellum. When in front of cerebellum, it is present here. Above medulla oblongata. This is medulla oblongata, and it is above, situated here above that. It acts as a bridge between brain and spinal cord. You are saying this is brain and this is spinal cord. This is spinal cord. So, it is bridge between brain and spinal cord, and this also helps in respiration. Then next part is medulla oblongata. It is the lowermost part. This is medulla oblongata. This is medulla, lowermost part of brain. It forms brain stem along with the pons and midbrain. It is the reflex center for to control activities like swallowing, then vomiting, then breathing, coughing, sneezing, and heartbeat, etc. It controls, beside that it also controls the activities of cerebrum. It also controls the activities of part of forebrain, that is cerebrum. This is the so these are the parts of brain. Now, sometime difference between cerebrum and cerebellum are asked. So, I am also giving some points about them. Cerebrum, it is the part of forebrain, and cerebellum, it is the part of hindbrain. Cerebrum, it is the largest part of brain and covers the entire head region. Entire head region is covered by the cerebrum. But cerebellum, it is the small, it is very small as compared to the cerebrum, and is present near the neck region. It present near the neck region. Next, third point of cerebrum, that is it performs many roles like responsible for memory, intelligence. Beside that, it controls sensations like pain, touch, voluntary and involuntary activities. Cerebellum, it controls voluntary muscular movements and maintains body posture and equilibrium. So, when there we talk about the maintenance of posture and equilibrium, we talk about the cerebellum. Now, you must know the difference between voluntary actions and involuntary action. Voluntary actions are those actions which are performed by the animal with its wills. The activities that we do according to our will are under voluntary actions. In this type of activities or actions, the animal has its choice, so that some stimulus receive different responses at different times, depending upon the situation. For example, if we see a snake on the way, first situation is that we may run out from that place. Second situation can be we can call someone for help, and third situation can be we can kill the snake. So, the responses that change according to our will are called as voluntary actions. Then involuntary actions that are without the will of the organism, or we can say are there automatically or occur automatically, and the animal has no choice in it. They are meant for control and coordination the functioning of internal organs. like blood pressure, then controlling of heartbeat, then movement of diaphragm during normal respiration, vomiting, etc. So these are the involuntary action. Sometime these questions which I have told, difference between cerebrum and cerebellum, and voluntary action and involuntary actions are also asked in exam. So be prepared for these also. So this is all about the brain and its function. That's all for today. Thanks.